This is a boombox that I've had pretty much since my childhood. It's a Sony CFS E50 radio cassette recorder. Because, you know, back in the day when this was made, electronics manufacturers just sort of made up words to make things sound cooler, like cassette recorder. So, this thing is fully functional except for two issues. Number one, the antenna came off a while ago, about a year ago now, and I can't get it reconnected. And so it doesn't tune to radio anymore. And the cassette worked fine for a while, but the motors no longer engage the gearbox. At this point, I don't really have a use for it in its current state, because it doesn't really work. So I'm going to take it apart, get some stuff out of it, because there is a lot of stuff in here that I've got good uses for. For instance, this knob here controls tone. It's, as far as I can tell, it is a low pass on this side and a high pass on that side. So I want to get that low pass, high pass circuit out. Anyways, let's start getting this apart. I guess opening it like a massive egg. Ah, the top's loose, so that's good. But that screw is definitely in there. Times like these call for desperate measures. Those desperate measures in the form of a rapidly rotating disc. I still can't get in there. For reference, I've just dremeled out all the way through here, and the screw is pretty much clear back here. Ah, yes. See, right there is our friend the screw hole.
Using those pliers. No wonder all my pliers get bent.
This is how I used to do things before I knew how to use a Dremel. Well, that's the easy solution. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Ah! That's cool. It just sort of feeds through like that. That's super cool. Anyways, there's the AM antenna. Is this big coil here. And right here, that's got to be how it tunes it. Right. I think that's right, left, and ground. Which means that's actually an input there, which means I don't even have to do much to that circuit. That lube looks like earwax. Okay. Here's one of my broken bits. Time to start Googling some ICs. BA3420AL. BA3420AL is a dual recording playback preamp for radio cassette recorders. Okay, that's what I figured. I'm guessing this one's a power amp. TA8229K. TA8229K is a low frequency power amp. Yep. I gotta know now. There. Custom made circuit board via Dremel. Okay, just tested the thing out. I've managed to get the output in the middle instead of on one of the sides. So I need to desolder those, flip it around. I don't need to, but I'd rather I do. I've tested it out, everything works good. So I can close it up in a box and should be good to go. So my footage from recording that project just kind of ends abruptly, and I never actually show the final thing in there. So this is what ultimately became of it. So basic functionality is I've got this hooked up there right now to the input that doesn't have a preamp, and you know, it just runs normally, except for the fact that it gets a lot louder. And also I have a low pass on there. Not much of one, and I don't have any resonance control. Try it with a different instrument. It's not the most intense low pass filter, but it does in fact function. Anyways, if I switch this over to the other input, you'll note I now have a lot of white noise coming in. With that preamp in there, it's essentially clipping all the audio, so it essentially acts like a compressing filter. So if I switch back to piano, it sounds slightly overdriven. Do a Celeste. Yeah, anyways, so that's the Frob-Amp. Filtered stereo Frobnitz Amplifier.